Okay, let's get to the Arch Manning story. Arch Manning will return to Texas next year for another year of college football. You got Dave Wilson of ESPN getting the scoop here. It's the ESPN.com article. In a text message to ESPN's Dave Wilson on Monday night, Arch's dad, Cooper Manning, said, quote, Arch is playing football at Texas next year, end quote. Texas officials told ESPN the full expectation was that Manning would be back next season, even though Manning could have declared for the NFL draft as a redshirt sophomore. So Dave Wilson getting tight with Cooper Manning, getting the scoop. What a scoop. That's usually... I don't know. I guess I would have thought that was going to come from On3 or Arch himself. But, 24 touchdowns, 7 picks on the year, 8 more rushing touchdowns, over 3,000 passing yards or right around it. We'll eclipse that against Michigan in the bowl game. I thought it was a really good year for Arch. The expectations were out of control. The expectations were totally out of control. Everyone expected, because of the last name Manning, because of how great the Texas team was last year. Again, team last year. All those great skill guys, Isaiah Bond, Gunnar Helm, first-round pick Matthew Golden, all of those guys last year. Fantastic offensive line. Kelvin Banks, first round. All those guys last year left. Brand new team this year. Obviously, the front seven defensively, plus Muhammad and Taff on the back end. The defense was pretty good, had some inconsistent times for sure, got torched against Mississippi State, torched a couple other times, but in general, the defense was pretty good this year, especially that front seven is totally elite. Simmons and Hill are just insane. I still can't believe Pete K got fired. That's kind of that's interesting. Did he get fired because why? I mean, they gave up 35 to Georgia, sure, but they held Georgia to, I think, 10 points or 14 points going into the fourth quarter, and the Texas offense just didn't do anything because the O-line couldn't block or run. They literally couldn't run. They had one 15-yard rush that game and then in the first quarter, and then they basically didn't run the ball after that. It's not Arch's fault. It's not the defense's fault. The Pete K thing, that firing is a little bit of a head-scratcher to me. But, I think Arch was so good this year, but he didn't lead Texas to an SEC title or a national title, obviously, or even the playoff, although I think a lot of us agree that they should have been in the playoff. They smacked A&M, they smacked Vandy, they smacked OU. They beat 3 teams that were playoff caliber, 2 who were literally in the playoff. Lost to Ohio State by 7, right? I mean, in Columbus, first game of the season against that elite defense. Yes, they lost 14-7 and did not have a good game at all offensively, although they significantly outgained the Buckeyes in that game, but they didn't win, So I just think I think there was way too much pressure, man. And of course, the name Manning absolutely has everything to do with it. If his name was Arch Peterson, people would have blamed the O-line or blamed Sark. And I also think there's the element of the player getting paid. I put out that video earlier in the year. I was like, what? Arch is such a good dude. If you watch his interviews, he's never passing blame at all. He's always talking about how he has to play better and then the team has to play better. He's such a good teammate, such a good dude. I was like, why do people love ripping on this guy? And I think it's because they're jealous. They're jealous of how much money he's making. He's in Viore commercials, on Viore posters. He has, Red Bull, other sponsorships. I believe his NIL is $3 or $4 million. It might even be more. Obviously, we know the Texas boosters, pay him well. So I think it's just jealousy. I think that's where the hatred comes from around this guy. And, I don't know why people choose to do that. It's certainly a dark perspective that I will never take, never have, and never will. I just appreciate the guy, appreciate the sport. He can, some of the throws, if you just look up his best throws this year, I think he's got the best arm in the sport. I'm serious. If you look at his best throws this year, made some incredible throws against Ohio State, some really good throws against Georgia, really good throws in other games against Oklahoma. Dude, I think he's had the best highlight reel in the sport. Obviously, he struggled in general in the Ohio State game. I think he was nervous. He was skittish. The O-line was so bad. It got a little better over the year, but it was so bad to start the season that they couldn't run the ball. And the second it would get snapped, he had dudes in his face. Dude, when I knew it was really bad? It was obviously, the O-line was obviously a disaster against Ohio State. But when it was really bad was when San Jose State absolutely killed Arch in that he took 6 nasty shots from San Jose State, dude. If your O-line can't block a 4 or 5 man front from San Jose State, what the hell's going to happen when you play in the swamp, when you play against Georgia, when you play against Oklahoma? Like, what did we think was going to happen? If the O-line was this bad, and to me, that's the biggest whiff of the season. Like, if you're Brandon Harris, the GM of Texas, if you're Sark, obviously, you guys whiffed. You whiffed on the O-line. Like, they have 4 new starters on the O-line. Obviously, their center last year was a 4-year starter. His name escapes me right now. Jake Murphy, maybe. He was a 4-year starter, really important player on Texas last year. Gooseby, the left tackle, probably will be a first rounder. The rest of the O-line, total mess. The left guard and right guard spots this year, oh my God. I mean, they couldn't block San Jose State. So it was a real mess, and that's obviously not Arch's fault. I think if the O-line comes back better next year, obviously I think all the skill guys will be back. Livingston, his favorite target, was just a freshman this year. DeAndre Moore, I think, has eligibility. Don't remember if Henry's the Cal transfer does, the tight end. But it was, the skill players dropped. The offensive line took a massive drop back. Like, what was around Arch this year was not what was around Quinn last year. And you remember when Arch played last year? Like, that was part of the reason there was so much hype. Yes, obviously because he's a 5-star and because of the Manning name and because he's getting paid a shitload of money. But it was also because when he got in the game last year, he wasn't just good. He was great. Like, remember during the college football playoff and even before that, because Quinn Ewers was a little hobbled, I think he had a nasty, I think he had midseason ab surgery last year, Quinn, and also his ankle was banged up. Like, dude, people were calling for Arch to be the starter last year in the middle of their, like, national title run. That's how good he was when he came in the game. Like, if you remember, Quinn got benched against Georgia. Arch comes in, runs for 60 yards. Like, he obviously started 2 games last year, basically started 3 games last year. Quinn got hurt in the early second quarter of, I want to say, like, the UTEP game or something. And I get it. Like, UTEP and Mississippi State, not exactly teams when you play great against, you can, like, hang your hat on as look at me, like, I played so well. But, dude, I mean, he was dynamite last year, played with so much confidence, and it's because the O-line and the skill guys were so good last year. And those groups took a massive step back this season, unfortunately for him in his first season as a starter. So there was just, it was a combination of that's what actually happened on the actual football field. And then, of course, you have the outsized expectations that were unfair, the Manning name, and again, a lot of haters because he's making so much money. Good-looking kid. I mean, how many kids are 21 years old, good-looking, and making $4 million a year, right? 0.0001% of the world. Seriously, at that age, at age 21. So people were jealous, man. I mean, that's my opinion. I think people were jealous, but from what we actually saw from him on the football field, he was great this year, man. I mean, they struggled against Kentucky. That was ugly. He rallied them back against Mississippi State. Obviously, the team struggled against Georgia. I thought he played well. There was a lot of drops in that game. Like, he could have played better for sure, but I thought he played pretty well in that game. I just hope they surround him with legitimately elite pieces next year, because if he has elite pieces on the O-line and at the receiver spot and they have a little bit more balance, I think he'll take a big step forward next year. And I also love, for as ugly as it was early, I think that tempered expectations in a good way. Like, I think people next year, there aren't going to be a bunch of, Arch, are you going to be the Heisman? Like, dude, those questions at SEC Media Day, like, hey, Arch, are you going to win the Heisman? Like, what are we freaking doing, man? Just let the guy play college football, and he's a joy to watch if you watch him play. I mean, he clearly has an insane IQ. He can make every single throw. And anyways, that OU win was massive for him this year. That game I was at in Dallas, like, he got a ton of confidence from that game, and they played really well after that. Like, they should have been in the playoff. If they scheduled Chattanooga instead of Ohio State, they're in the playoff, and they can beat anyone. I think ultimately their O-line was too bad and their secondary was too bad against good to really good quarterbacks to actually win a national title. But if they can get those pieces right next year, they can be in it. But I just think the expectation, the conversation around him, like, let's not have it be like, dude, you better throw for 400 yards against Ohio State. So let's calm the expectations. Let's just enjoy college football. Let's celebrate college football. You guys know that's what I'm here to do. I'm not here to give hot takes. I'm here to celebrate the sport, because it's the best sport on earth, man. My favorite sport on earth. So those are my thoughts on Arch coming back. Is I think the expectations will be tampered next year. I think people need to realize that the O-line and the secondary need to get a lot better. And I think it's gonna be fun to have him back, man. I mean, him and wherever Trinidad ends up, those will be preseason probably the two Heisman favorites. But again, there I go. See, I don't even want to say that. I don't want to put that out there. Like, let's just enjoy it, man. I think you get the picture. Let's just enjoy it. Excited for Arch to be back next year. It's a great thing for college football.